Welcome to another episode of CC Top Solutions. Today, we're gonna work on our Ramcharger. Ever since I bought it, it's kind of bothered me that there's been no tow hitch. It's got this bumper style hitch that I don't really know what the capacity is on those, but I suspect it's pretty low. So I bought this and we're gonna put it in today. One of those Drawtite 6,000 pound hitch. So I don't know what class that is, but here's the instructions, here's the kit. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to it. Our first step here, we're gonna have to get down here, and it looks to me like we're gonna need to move our exhaust out of the way because that bracket goes up here. And it looks like we have to drill this rivet first. So we'll go ahead and just unbolt our exhaust right here and kind of spread it over, and we'll see about bolting this stuff up into here. Cool. Oh, and something else has happened. Oh no. So we'll have to worry about that at some point. I don't know, I might just put it down to just one shock per side. I don't think I need all six, but all six looked so cool. All right, finished drilling out our rivets. And then the next step is to put this bolt, and you put this behind the bolt on top of the frame to reinforce everything. Here, can you guys see this? Come on. There we go. Yep. And you see how you have this extra piece of metal here to reinforce everything? All right. And since I have this side already in without the fancy washer, I'm gonna slide the receiver in and then get it all in at once. And then you end up drilling the frame for the front two bolt holes on each. So this is where our rivet was. Now I've got the second bolt in. This one was a little bit tricky because there's really no clearance up here to get your hand in to actually get the bolt up there and get it started. So I ended up using my go-to for difficult access, and I just sort of walked it up into there, lined it up, and then sort of tapped it in from above. And here, to give you an idea of what we're looking at. So here's our rib nut. Here's our next bolt, and you see how we have the spacer in there? And then up here, there's another piece of metal that will grip. It's a carriage bolt. And that's how that tightens. And then we've got one more to do, the frontmost one, which is gonna be the hardest one. Okay, we're underneath the Ram right now. You can see the gas tank is right there, kind of on the side. And you see that? That's my magnet. I have that stuck up into the frame rail. And check this out. See how I have the fastener, it's right there. I managed to just use the magnet to get everything into place. And now I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down in. That's the hardest part of this job, is getting that all lined up. I'm gonna try and show you guys the moments that I drop this thing down in. All right, very carefully grabbing the magnet and lowering this thing, and hopefully this bolt long enough. Oh, come on. Oh, it's coming. Well, all right, I think you guys know how this is gonna end. Let me finish this off. So this passenger side front bolt was putting up a little more of a challenge than the driver's side one did. So the way we're gonna feed it in is like this, and see how we put some painter's tape up there to hold the bolt into the square, keep the orientation? That actually works pretty well. Okay, here you can kind of see how we're installed. You see the frontmost bolt on both the passenger side and the driver's side took 3 of those washers. The middle bolt took 1. And then the rearmost bolt, the one that went through the old rivet, took 0. Now we're gonna go ahead and torque everything to 75 foot-pounds. And you can see it's nice and level. Okay, the mechanical part of the hitch is done. I ended up just buying new fasteners here, 9/16 18 by 4 inch long, torqued to 110 pound-feet, 1 for each side. It did come with fasteners that you would use, but it was 4 small bolts, and you would have to get inside here with a wrench to hold it and then torque them. I felt that this would work just as well, and I wouldn't have to dig inside there. Next up, we're gonna wire it up. We're almost done with our hitch installation. Now we have to do the electrical, and the electrical, I decided to try and take a shortcut and pay 70 bucks for this nice harness that's supposed to go inline from Rock Auto. Doesn't work, so that was basically 50 bucks out the window because just a generic harness is about 20. So here's our 4-pin trailer harness. And what I'm gonna do right now is pop up the schematic showing you guys which wires are which. But long story short, green and black, that's your actual turn signal on both sides. I'm trying to show you guys that. Yellow and black, that's your tail light on both sides. And gray, that's your ground on both sides. So you just splice the wires in exactly the way the schematic that I popped up on the screen shows it. So just sitting here thinking, wow, this is going together great, nice and clean, piece of cake. Does anybody see what I did wrong here? Anybody see anything? Once I put this light assembly back in, these wires are going to be pinched between the light and the body. Now, that's just no good. Make sure you run the wires through this hole first. That makes all the difference in the world. Whoops. Mulligan. What did Frank Sinatra say? That's life. So I'm digging around down here looking where to hook up the ground for this harness, and I find those connectors. So that pre-made harness that I paid the extra money for, that actually would have worked had I noticed that in advance, but instead I did not notice it. We have everything wired up at this point except for our ground. I'm gonna find somewhere nice and clean to tuck that away, but everything else is already done. And ultimately I'll just tie wrap everything in so that you don't see anything. And well, that actually would have been a lot cleaner had I noticed that. Then I wouldn't have this running through here and this coming out of here, but whatever. It's fine as is. Huh. Well, live and learn. I wish I had known that in advance. Here we go again. After I finish putting on this hitch, what do I find? I see that there's some sort of a paint or something on here, so I take it off with a little bit of steel wool. And look at this. This bumper is actually tow rated, 800 pounds tongue weight or 8,000 pound capacity. So this bumper is actually a better hitch than this hitch that I installed, which is rated for 6,000 pounds or 600 tongue weight, unless you got weight distributing, but still, they're both V5. So, wow, that was just a huge waste of my time. Awesome. Some of you might remember I put new power window motors in this. This is a Rock Auto motor. And today, when I went to move the truck, I tried to lower the driver's side window and it lowered kind of slow. And then it had a lot of trouble going back up. Let's check this out. Oh, and right I was. You can see the moisture right here. Oh, wow. That got a lot of water in it. I probably can just clean this all up though. Here's our brushes. Here's our stator. All right, I'm gonna try and clean this up, put it back together. So this is kind of interesting. I took this apart just a second ago. I didn't dump it out yet though. I want to take it apart, show you guys how this goes. So here we are, here's our motor. You can see right down into here, right? As we pull this out, this is drenched. This thing has maybe a 1/4 inch of water inside it. Can you see it down in there? So we'll just dump that out and, well, that'll probably work a lot better now. I don't know how that got in there, but that was definitely our problem. As you can see, we've cleaned up our rotor with some steel wool, so this should make a good contact. Our brushes are still wet. We're letting them dry out, kind of sitting in the sun. And the housing itself, that's also still kind of wet. And I'm letting it kind of dry out. And then once it's all dried, put it all back together and it'll probably work great for a few months. All right, I've cleaned it all out, dried it off, put it back together, and here are our results. Here's up, down. Seems good to me. Well, time for an op test. Well, looks like the electrical is all working just fine. Yep. I guess I could replace a few of these side markers, but you know, they're not really required. And if you look, this sits way better than the Lincoln sat when the trailer was on it, so definitely a better tow vehicle. Well, now I think we need to drive around the yard a little bit and make sure mechanically everything's okay. You know what? Let's have some fun. I adjusted the linkage for this. Let's put it in 4 low. Gotta do this in neutral. Boom, boom. 4 low. I just left the hub not attached, so we're good. Oh, yep. Trailer's holding in good back there. Hitch is real solid. Oh, you know what? I hear my safety chains bouncing around. Whoa. Very bumpy. Well, hello. Ooh, can we clear this? Yeah, we made it. I think we've all seen Romancing the Stone. It's my little mule, Pepe. Drone battery's dying. Struggling here to get this thing to keep following me. Drone battery's low, but we'll see if it can follow me a little bit. Yep, I think I lost it. I did. Well, there it is. Hello, drone. Here, we'll just drive across in view again. Great news. Ramcharger has had a successful operational test period of 175 miles. In that 175 miles, I've towed the trailer with approximately 1,000 pounds. I'm getting 7.5 miles to the gallon. So eco-friendly, truck of the year. Can't go wrong. If you don't already own a Ramcharger, what else can I say? Don't even think about it, just go buy one. Stay tuned for some more episodes. Take care.